It's been a while since I just sat in front of the camera and recorded a video. Hey, it's me, Saul. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I am here to explain why I haven't been here. I have not been making Yu-Gi-Oh content on this channel, or content on this channel in general, which is a far cry from how things were not a year ago and like earlier this year. So I'm sure a lot of people were confused or surprised, or maybe you just didn't even notice. Things have been going on like this for quite some time, and so I figure now that I'm in a clear headspace, I might as well talk about why I stopped posting and what I plan to do moving forward. Should you stay subscribed? Should you watch out for more videos? So on and so forth. So the first thing, where have I been, what have I been doing? The shortest answer is I got a job. I have been tutoring / teaching for the last good little while, and it's just very time consuming. For a lot of the time while I was making YouTube videos, I was not working alongside that. YouTube was my full-time job, and so I treated it like a full-time job. That's videos just like all the time, or just always working towards content or streaming or whatever it may have been. But that is no longer the case because I don't have as much time as I used to, just off rip. And you might ask, well, why did I stop having YouTube be my full-time job? And the simple answer is finances. My finances weren't in order. There's big life decisions that I plan on making relatively soon, you know, hoping to get married at some point in the near enough future that I decided to make a slightly more responsible decision. And even though I love making content, take a step back, get something a little bit more stable, and then see what I can do either alongside it or after I'm in a more comfortable position. So with that in mind, you have the simple answer, the easy answer. The question you may be asking is, well, I thought school gets out at what, like 4 or 5? Like what's going on after that? And again, the simple, easy answer is I'm tired. But in a more realistic sense, that's never really stopped me before. It's more so along the lines of I just haven't had the same passion to play Yu-Gi-Oh since it stopped being a full-time job. Because after it stopped being my job, I was like, okay, so this is going to be something I do for fun, just on the side when I want to, and it hasn't been fun, and I haven't wanted to. I think I'm a very motivation, grind-oriented kind of person, where if I'm doing something because that's what I'm passionate about, that's my focus, that's my grind, I don't care. Like, I will do it. I will love doing it because I love the grind more so than I love whatever it is that I'm doing. So I put my all into whatever it is like my focus. And so when Yu-Gi-Oh lost the title of being my full-time occupation, Yu-Gi-Oh kind of had to stand on its own for me, like on its own merits, where it was like, okay, am I having fun? Am I enjoying this? Do I like sitting here and getting comboed for like 5 minutes or whatever? I mean, again, I play decks that take a long time sometimes too, and so even making it through my own plays was starting to get tedious. And so yeah, the format just shifting. We had Sword Soul and Fluenderies, and I don't even remember what came next, and it's just like, okay, I'm not having as much fun with that, and so I just rather do other stuff with my free time. But this channel is focused around Yu-Gi-Oh, and in the algorithm, if you shift too far off of what it is that you do, I've tried doing it before, it just doesn't work out for you. So the answer was just not being as active on the channel. Another thing that you may have noticed, I don't know how many people saw it, but a while back I put out a channel post saying that I wanted to try and change the kind of content I was making on the channel away from Yu-Gi-Oh. This was kind of like my answer to the dilemma of how do I keep the channel going. And so I decided to do like a Yu-Gi-Oh anime review where like maybe once a week, once every other week, I put out a really highly edited like video going through the entire Yu-Gi-Oh anime. And I did. I put out the first episode. It was fun, and it immediately got taken down. I got I got hit with my first ever copyright strike on the channel, and I was like, nope. Like, it is not worth going down that road. I believe it fell under fair use, as well as a lot of people I spoke to, but I'm a small channel. I'm not about to fight like a big company. I used mostly stills. There were clips from the anime, but in terms of voice acting, I think I had about 6 seconds in one place, 4 seconds in another place, and like 3 seconds in one other place in the video. The rest was just purely my voiceover and still images and whatnot, and then sometimes using the show as like a backdrop to make a point. But I'm not about to die on that hill. I'm not a big enough channel to get like the whole internet behind me to try and you know, get fair use to be fair use. So I just left it. I took another shot before that at like trying to tie anime into Yu-Gi-Oh, just other things that I actually felt like I was enjoying at the time. Like, oh, what if this character played Yu-Gi-Oh! And like what deck would they use. I did what if Naruto played Yu-Gi-Oh! And not too many people seem to enjoy that content, which is fair because you guys are here for gameplay and you guys are here for commentary. And so that didn't track either. So I was kind of just left in a position of, what do I do? How do I balance where I am right now in terms of my work and in terms of how I feel about the game with the channel? And it just didn't really balance that well. I've still gotten to be creative. I've still enjoyed being creative, but with other things. The game that I'm developing, for example, or the webtoon that I'm working on. Like my other creative outlets sort of got a boost in productivity because the public side of things, i.e. the channel, just wasn't as high up on the priority list with where things are right now. But I don't like that because that meant that the community effectively was kind of just left to the wayside. A few people knew where I was and what I was about, like in the Discord and everything. I would still be in there every now and then working on my game. But for the most part, the community's just splintered off, which isn't great. Now, speaking of my other stuff, that actually reminds me that it's only fair to say that there was another factor that kind of caused me to pull away from the channel, which is less conventional. In that, the reason why I originally made this channel was to build an audience around Yu-Gi-Oh! But because there was a story that I wanted to tell that revolved around, well, Yu-Gi-Oh! I was creating, the webtoon that I'm working on used to be an original fan series of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like anime, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. As you can see, it was probably a good idea to move my IP away from that and tell an original story with an original card game, which is what I'm working on. But that's where the problem comes in. This channel was made around Yu-Gi-Oh! For that purpose. And now that I'm doing something else, it's like, well, how well does this channel and the people who are interested in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff here translate over to that? From what I've seen, not that well. So it's kind of caused me to rethink how I want to go about YouTube, promotion, the channel, and just everything effectively. Do I make a new channel, which, spoilers, I have already, but I don't necessarily want to cross-pollinate because, again, what I talked about, not everyone here is interested in that stuff, and that's absolutely fine. So the question becomes, what comes next? And I'm not sure. I have been trying, and I mean trying, to figure out how to just like get that in, because you know me, like I can't pretend to enjoy something that I'm not enjoying. Like I have to actually find it fun. So I took that time away from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm only making this video now because as of recent, I have actually been having some fun playing the game. So I'm like, okay, do I maybe make some, I don't know, maybe like some gameplay videos, not necessarily guides, but just like, yeah, just gameplay, maybe some tournament runs. I don't know. I'm in the process of deciding because I don't really know who's still here and what who is here signed up for. I think that sentence was correct. So yeah, if it wasn't clear by now, I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. Another thing that I have been very strongly considering is playing other card games. I feel like the thesis of this channel is sort of Yu-Gi-Oh, but maybe it could be card games in general because it's always fun trying something new. Like I played Marvel Snap, had a lot of fun with it. I've been wanting to try out Magic the Gathering Arena, I think it's called, and I hear it's coming to Steam soon. There's Hearthstone, right? Just trying out card games because then when my card game comes out, maybe I can do that on the channel as well. Don't know, not guaranteeing anything because again, as much as I love this channel and I love the community, the experiences that have been built around it, it's not my number one priority right now in life. I feel like I'm 25, I'm reaching a stage where there's things I want to do and responsibilities that I need to take care of, right? Commitments that I feel like I need to address before I can just sit down and be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber kind of thing. I do one day hope to get back to a place like that. Right? Because I don't necessarily think that this is forever, but I think I need to be able to carry everything along at a steady pace that doesn't just whittle down my standard of living little by little. So with that having been said, I hope that the explanation was meaningful to you. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, like if you enjoyed my explanation of no, just thank you for watching the video and entertaining this conversation.